What's going on, everybody? This is Joe from BMT. I actually wanted to do this series a while ago. It's probably not really so much a series. It's just, yeah, I guess it would be a four-part series. And it was so much, a lot of thought put into it. I wanted to do each one. I'll probably do one or two a day, possibly two if I can. I never would want to talk about something that I have no knowledge on or I know anything about. You know, I never want to speak about something that I have not been through and experienced for myself. The story that I want to talk about is the story of the Black veteran. As some of y'all possibly know, that I am a proud veteran. I served my country. I have done my duty as a soldier. I signed up to be 11 Bravo. From there, I was helping out with EOD. I helped train Sea Smurf. I helped clear buildings, lead fire teams, traveled around. I met with different people. But before I did that, I was a citizen. I wanted to find out what was my purpose because I was always told, that, hey, man, like, you're going to join a gang or join up with something. And, one thing that goes on for a lot of young Black boys is belonging. I'm not sure a lot of y'all realize that. If you're joining in the video, please like the video. What's going on, Jay? One thing a lot of young Black boys long for is belonging. They want to feel like they belong to something. They want to feel like they have a purpose. So much so, this is why a lot of boys, if you look at them, they join these gangs and become militant. This is why you see a lot of them join these militant type of organizations, because Black boys are looking for belonging. They're looking for some type of authority to lead them into some type of success, even if it is a hazardous type of occupation or MOS. They will go. And about around that time, I did not know what I was capable of. I knew I was good at fighting. I shot a gun a few times more professionally than I should be shooting. And I went to the recruiter because I wanted to know something. Remember, there's one guy was on the TV saying, he was talking about how he was a Black disciple or something. And after that, he was like he got most of his training from the military, and it made him change up on how he viewed the world. And I thought for a while, I said, well, man, I would like that too. I want to know what the world is about, what it brings, what it entails, and everything. So what I did, I joined into the military. Now, originally, when I first tried to join the military, I was afraid. I didn't think that me as a Black boy, I belonged. Let me say that again. Me as a Black man standing around other men felt intimidated in such a sense. I'm not going to try to scapegoat. I'm not going to try to beat around the bush, because when you take a Black boy or a Black man out of his familiarities of being around what he's used to, his stomping ground. I was that dude who's just running around in the streets talking that trash. And I know this is why I know whenever they say that a lot of Black people, the reason why you don't see them run up on like white suburban neighborhoods or do certain things, because it's the unknown. It's the unknown. I really believe with all my heart that there is some type of blocker in some Black men that that in their mind that they feel like that's as far as they can go. You can't say that I'm lying about this, because if that's the case, more Black men would be leaving out of the Black community. More Black men would be interested in travel. More Black men would not waste their one opportunity in life with a felon or risking their life, and they will go out there and go join the military, go into like Peace Corps, go do things to actually better themselves. I say that because I did. As I stood around those other those other white guys, they were looking at me, and the doctor said, "Man, you're fit." He said, "Did you play football? Did you do some type of sports? Do you work out?" I said, "Well, I don't really work out. I do yard work and do stuff like that." A lot of black boys, y'all are physically fit. Y'all don't know that? You're pretty physically fit. You meet the requirements to go into the military, to serve, to make money, to actually do something with your life. But the sad truth about it is a lot of you will never leave. You're afraid that you're going to be indoctrinated into some type of system that is going to enslave you or make you feel like you're less than. But that's not the truth, because honestly, by you limiting yourself, you're lessening your opportunities for success. I hate when people say that, oh, um, stay in the hood. You know what I'm saying? You can get this and that. And I mean, if you want to, that's on you. But I knew at some point I had a child on the way. Mind you, my time in the hood, I've lost a lot of friends, loved ones, children, people I cared about. I couldn't pull out a healthcare plan. I never seen the hood provide a healthcare plan. I've never seen the hood offer dental services or eye services, or some type of insurance for a dog on your back or anything when you come home. Do you know how many black men don't have health insurance? Do you know how many black women bear their children into the world with no type of health insurance? And don't say, well, Red Cross, or I mean Blue Shield, that counts for health. No, I'm talking about legit health insurance. I'm talking about not with your family in the system. We're talking about something real, y'all. So I wanted something differently, but I knew that I had a child on the way. I knew that Melissa was going to bear me my son. I said, Melissa, let me do something right. Mind you, she was afraid. I think, let me step back. I had already joined the services. I would honestly want to tell y'all, for a lot of you black men, don't join the military because of somebody else. Do it for yourself. Know why you fighting. When I got in there, I was afraid, but I learned I turned that fear and I embraced it into my courage. I went to Fort Benning, Georgia, home of the infantry. They asked me, why did you want to join the infantry, son? I want to get into the government. I want to learn how part of me, I wanted to be in law enforcement. I did. I really wanted to go into law enforcement. I wanted to change my neighborhood. I wanted to find a way to better my people. You have a lot of black men, black men when they were younger, told by other black men who had already messed up their lives that, hey, don't mess with the police. No, you got messed up by the police because you destroyed your life, not me. Don't tell me what I can do. You'll tell your daughters to watch out for that white man because you fucked up. But you gotta understand, a child's curiosity is gonna grow. Why is that man so bad? Why do you tell me he's the enemy? You see, I learned one of the things that when I first went into the military that they were teaching me was you gotta question things and you gotta ask why. The greatest weapon that me as a soldier I could have was my mind. That's the first weapon. When I got in there, I met all types of races. Believe it or not, some white people have never met black people before. Did you know that? I learned that. And in learning that, it made me rethink things. I learned that how I easily will say nigga, it made some of them feel uneasy. And a white dude even asked me one time, he said, "Why do you say nigga?" Well, he didn't say it. He said, "Why do you say the N-word?" I said, "Well, I don't know. It's just what, the black dudes, that's what we say, man. You got a problem?" He said, "Yeah, but y'all don't like us when we say it." And believe it or not, some white people don't like saying the N-word. Would y'all believe that? Some white people really do not like saying the N-word. I know we want to go off of the slavery bit, and I'm not trying to sell you no type of story, but some white people do not like the N-word. Whatever this media hype is, a lot of white people are sometimes intimidated by being around black people. But would you believe it that some black people are intimidated by being around white people? This is why I like the military, because the military forces you to be around something that you're unfamiliar with. People. They start to relearn you. And you have to relearn them. And as I sat with them at that hall, and they told us, "Okay, everybody, strip down your garments." I looked at some of those white boys. And one of those, I think it was a Hispanic boy. And he was like, "Man, I ain't doing that, man. I ain't gay." One of the medical doctors, walked in. And when the medical doctor walked in, he had said, "Everybody strip off your clothes. If you don't strip off your clothes, get out this room now. You're immediately removed from the process." When I took off my clothes and other black boys and white boys and Hispanics, when we all took off our clothes, my eyes opened up. I saw things that I never thought I would see. And no, nothing of that type of nature, but I saw bruise marks on one white boy as if he was being beaten. It was from a belt. He had to be about 16 or 17. I saw scars, stabs, bullet wounds. This kind of narrative that we generate, that black people, we're the only ones who are shot, killed, beat, raped, and abused, it's very misleading, because other races and nationalities have it too. We went on and we got our examinations done. And when I joined the service, I got over there and I started going through basic. Started doing my time. I got my ass kicked. I got to do some stories talking about me going through basic. I learned a lot of life lessons through that. But I understood one thing, that I was there in the now. The next thing that they told me was that, "Listen up, some of y'all are going to be going overseas to fight. Some of y'all will die. Some of y'all will not come back." There were the Hells Angels, the Renegades. There were, I think, what do they call it? The Brigadiers or something. Every unit has their own regiment, and every regiment has their own call sign. I was Spartan 322. I was Spartan 322. There were 400 of us. I was number 322. What went on to happen after that? Everybody was getting nice duty stations. "Johnson, step forward." "Yes, drill sergeant." "Step forward." "Son, are you ready?" "Yes, drill sergeant." He opened up my packet. "You're going to Afghanistan, son." Part of me was afraid. I was scared. I was very scared, because I didn't know what was going to happen. This is why I tell a lot of black men, you can't really talk shit until you actually seen the enemy. until you actually go over there. While everybody was sitting down, looking at their different duty stations, some of the guys came over to me. They said, "Johnson, how do you feel?" I said, "I'm afraid." They said, "Man, I'm scared too, man." You can always tell the ones who are the scaredest because they're the loudest. They brag it off the most. Mine was anticipation because I didn't know if I was going to see my family, my friends. Soon enough after that, I went home and talked to my girl whenever I got back to the States. When I got back into when I got back to South Carolina before I flew over there. We made love. She was with child. So let me clarify that. So yeah, that's how my first son came. Wanted to at least make one child before I got over there. I think that's what a lot of black men do. We want to leave behind some type of legacy, something for our children, something for our loved ones. She said, "Decide what are you going to do?" I said, "Listen, I'm leaving you 2 vehicles. You got a 2-story house. I'm sorry about that. I left her 2 vehicles, a 2-story house, 2 acres of land. She had access to $1,200 a month, health insurance for her and the baby. I got married by my granddaddy. It was just me and her at the altar with my grandma. And I said, "Baby, I love you more than anything." A lot of black men put themselves through more hurt and harm for that of the love and affection of a black woman than more of you black women would ever know. That's very disingenuous, friend. Speaking that black men don't rest themselves for their family, their community. It's very disingenuous. I wanted to make sure that my children would have. I wanted to make sure that my family would have. She said, "Joe, I don't care for all that. I'll give it all away just so that way you would have something to come home to." She didn't want to stay in the house, but the house was empty without me. So she left and went to Florida. I said, "Okay, that's fine." Got a place out in Florida. Left the house in South Carolina. I was overseas. My first month was one of my most scariest moments in my life. 147 men lost their lives. It is a very racketeering feeling when you're in a cafeteria that is filled up with so much laughter and hope and joy. And then after a while, it starts getting real quiet. You start looking around and you don't see people there. But you still crank up your truck and you still keep going. I never hated a group of people so much. I never, you don't know true hell until you look in a ditch and you see a bunch of dead children in there. You don't know hell until you can hear all night long women and children and men screaming, trying to get away from rebels or fire or a bombing. and people are using their homes as blockades and shields and stuff, or you want to shake a child's hand, but you don't know. It's a very nerve-wracking feeling when I lost my best friend. I tried to commit suicide 2 times over there. One, the first time was I used to just go on. They used to call me Black Rambo because I could pick up I can pick up two 240s with both hands, hold them. I was a very strong black man. I could drive, I could shoot, I could fight, I could do all that. I was very proficient at what I did. I wanted them to feel the pain that I felt for every man, woman that I lost. But they will never come back. I hold no ill will against anybody of the Islamic faith. I think one day, a lieutenant, she asked me, she said, Johnson, I want to ask you a favor. I said, what is it? I said, how can I help you? Because about this time, I was cold. Will you escort me and a few people to a location? But I want you to trust me. I said, sure. What else I got to lose? So we walked, got into our trucks, left early in the morning. About an hour and a half, we was in Medellin. I'm not sure what some of y'all know what Medellin is. It is a place where a lot of insurgents are trained. We went to what looked like a bunch of rocks standing up in the sand. And then there was some buildings. And then she said, listen, I'm going to ask y'all this. Take your guns and leave them in the trucks. And if you do want to carry your firearm, you have to take out your mags. I ain't doing that shit. No. I looked over there. I'm seeing a goddamn enemy. I said, hold up. You know where you got us at, woman? She walked up to me, put her hand around me. She said, trust me. We need this. The enemy put their firearms down on their trucks. And he held out his hand. I reached out. Rather than grabbing my knife, I grabbed his hand. And he walked with me. The interpreter said, you are on holy ground. It was a stalemate area. My lieutenant had taken us to the burial site of Noah in the Bible. You know Noah, the man with the ark? She took us to the burial site where him and his children were buried. If you know anything about Noah, his family, they're from Metalam. So we was in where his family was buried. And for those 2 hours, we sat down and ate. They told us stories about their fathers and their forefathers and stuff. And I sat down with sheiks and stuff. I learned a lot about myself. It was good to actually sit down and for once not have to worry about pulling out a gun and shooting somebody, but talking on knowledge and information. I came back home soon after the war. Part of me, I don't know what I brought back. That was my true fight when I came back home, because I was not the same Josiah. I was something different. I had questioned a lot of things. I started seeing racial tension in our country more horrid than ever. I had people saying, "Joe, watch out for the white man. Like they're out there shooting us." And I'm like, well, damn, I've been shooting people all this dang year. You want me to start? I'm not shooting white people. Why not, brother? I'm not gonna say who's asked me that, but I said, because I'm tired of fighting. I need to figure out for me. I don't know if y'all noticed, but a lot of veterans, when they come home, a part of us is missing. A part of them is not really all there. That's why when a lot of y'all try to push on white supremacy on me as a black man, I can't ride with you, because when I was overseas, I saw white men and black men being shot and Hispanic men being shot and dying in the same sand pit with me, along with whatever part of me died that day and those other days. For every person I dropped on the ground, that I didn't see no type of supremacy. A lot of these movements that y'all talk about in the States, y'all don't really know what it's like when you go over there to see a group of black girls put into a truck container and shipped around like they're pieces of meat. You don't know what it's like to see children sold at auction for less than a laptop. You don't know what it's like to watch a bunch of boys lined up on a wall because they believe in Jesus Christ. They get lined up and gunned down. You don't know what it's like to watch a stoning every afternoon. See, this is why I know some of y'all can't really talk to me and relate with me. You don't know the dreams that I have. You don't know the people that I hear in the back of my mind whenever I sit down and I say, hey, buddy, that was a good game. And I look to the side and I know they're not there. The people I used to play video games with, the people I used to play basketball with, clean my weapon with, sharpen knives with, learn about different stuff. I had some white men teach me things overseas like they were my dad, just to close them up in a body bag and put them on a plane. I had their wives slap me in my face because they thought that it was my fault that I didn't do my job enough to bring their husbands home. This is why it's hard for you to tell a black veteran to go hate white people. This is why it's hard for y'all to tell me as a veteran I'm supposed to put immigrants first. You don't walk the walk that I walk. Some of y'all don't even fight the same system that I'm fighting. You haven't walked down some slum alleys and seen my brothers and sisters slumped out in the alleyway because they're so mentally broken. They turn to any type of pain reliever, whether it be drugs, sex, alcohol. Some of them have whole families, and we're not fully there. I remember sometimes Melissa said, "I don't know who I'm laying in bed with." Sometimes, whatever is a good day. My children used to not like being around daddy. I've been to a homeless shelter where there was a man raping grown men just so that way those men could have a place to sleep and eat. It's real out here for veterans. I don't see no movement for veterans out here. But you'll tell me about a woman who is a prostitute who wants some type of reparational pay. You'll tell me some type of black boy who is some type of social justice fighter. He deserves some type of reparation for slavery, but yet he has never put in any type of time building this country. But he wants the credit that his forefathers have done. But me, the man who's been stabbed, shot, blown up, knocked off of 2 cliffs, done more explosive improv devices, and carried more bodies on my back with their blood dripping down on my helmet, down to my face. You're willing to tell me I can't get no type of governmental aid for college, but this little piece of crap is allowed more restitutional issues and problems than me that he should be listened to? You're telling me that a rapper that smuggled guns and done cheated on his wife multiple times is the black leader, but I don't get no say so in the black community, but I'm a sellout? This is why I know I don't. This is why some niggas I can't talk to y'all. I can't. This is why a lot of black women, when they come back from the service or doing their time, they don't know how to deal with some of you men. This is why a lot of y'all, and I have no animosity or anger. I'm just speaking out of how I feel. See, when I came back home, I saw a black man named Obama on the TV. Now, originally, when I saw Obama the first time on my first deployment, I didn't know who that dude was. I said, "Oh, there's a black man running for president." Okay. Then after that, we came in for a mission. They said, "Joe, guess what? You got your first black president." I said, "We ain't got no nigga as no president." They look at me like I was crazy. I said, "We ain't got no nigga as no president." They said, "Yeah, we do." Captain comment, "Joe, you can't be saying the N-word to people, I said, "Well, we." He said, look on TV. Look up there, boy." I said, "Oh, who's that black man?" "That's your president." I said, "Oh man, that's my boss now." Okay. Because I've seen 2 types of black leadership in the military. I've seen the accountable leadership, and I've seen the just to get by type of leadership. There's only 2 types of leadership in the military: the accountable leadership and the just to get by leadership. And you see, we were going to know by the 6th month what type of leadership Obama was going to give us. It didn't get good. Now we had to write paperwork on if we were getting shot at. Now we had to make phone calls. Now we're being told that dudes who we know are terrorist cell blocks, we got to try to make some type of deal to work with them and understand them. But yet the same night, they would try to throw Molotovs on the female locker room bathroom. I'm like, yo, whose side is this dude on, man? I mean, say what you got to say about me. I really don't care. But like I said, until y'all actually done some time, I really don't hear y'all. I encourage children, I encourage young adults, go into the military, go to college, get your money up. I encourage it. Because it's not easy out there. I traveled around the world, different countries, seen different things, different people. I've been to every country just about except the North Arctic and the South Arctic. I've seen about every country. I've been around this world 3 times. 3 times. I've been the highest up into the stratosphere. I've flown. I've done a lot of things in this country. But one of the things I never understood was when I came back here and why black men are saying that they're so oppressed. When I hear black men say that they're oppressed, I cannot really walk with you. Because a black young man who grew up in a broken home, dealt with abuse physically and sexually, dealt with bigotries, police, and different other things. Once you get out of the States, the world is a different place. Once I joined the military, the world's a different place. I'm looking at my beautiful cousin Brenda. I love you, baby. Raised her son on her own. I look at my friend Giovanna. She does it. I look at a lot of men and women. What's up, anti-gravity? Joe, do you have anything against? I told you. My battle buddy when I went into the military was Muslim. He taught me about the Sunnis and the Shiites. This propaganda that y'all think that all Muslims are bad, it's not true. I fought with the Taliban. The Taliban originally was not bad. The Taliban, actually, they were just trying to get people out of their country. They wanted people out of their country. That's all they wanted. Afghanistan used to be a democratic place, a democracy. They used to have rules. They actually used to have a president. It's run by warlords. Most of the opium in the world can be found in Afghanistan. They have buds of weed the size bigger than my cell phone. That's how big buds of weeds are. I mean, they if we honestly wanted medicine, the best place I would tell you to go for medicine is probably Afghanistan. They've been fighting these religious wars since biblical times. It will never. Yeah, no, Jay, you're right. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna tell you right now. One truth that all of us soldiers have learned: you're not gonna make those people stop. Americans are fighting for natural resources. They're fighting for religious resources and accountability. They are having a million-year baby daddy, baby mama war over one man who got two women pregnant, and those two women, their sons believe that they have rights to the land. That is the whole holy war summed up. The concubine and Sarah, two sons, children. That's why Abraham is the father of many nations. Both the Jews and the Muslims all belong under Abraham. They're all cousins. They're all cousins. You can't stop a family feud beef that is older than this country. I don't know why y'all keep thinking y'all throwing an American flag with an eagle on top of those people that's going to make them stop. It's not. It's not. I understand. Listen, I'm telling you right now, when you honestly sit down with these people and talk with them, this is why I said, listen, y'all leave those people alone. Let them do what they're going to do. One of the things that those boys used to like to do when they come over to the base, they used to like to sit down and read comic books with us. I used to teach them how to read with comic books. Then after that, I started getting books. Started showing them how to read. When we started teaching them, their sons and their daughters, how to read and write and different stuff, like give them some good education, the fathers, the elders told their insurgents, like, yo, stop. Our kids are in those bases. Stop. I'm gonna tell you right now, I believe wholeheartedly if black children started getting better education, a lot of the indoctrination of fighting and hostility that we have will possibly start to die down in the black community. Because if our children start to educate themselves, I probably say the first thing I would honestly want as a black veteran for our people, like I wanted to grab, was education. I tell any black parent, please don't push sexuality on your kid. Don't push religion on your kid. Push education on your child. Teach them how to read. Teach them how to think. Teach them how to make responsible decision making skills. Teach them accountability. You gotta understand, if we start educating our children, black people, let me tell you, if we stop for 1 year, imagine this. For 1 year, if we stopped giving money to shoes, clothing brands, and hair, and all this little trinkets and stuff that we be buying into, and put it towards our children's education, do you know how far our kids would get? Kids want education. They want to learn. My son reads on the 9th grade level. That's the youngest one. The other one is on the 9th to 10th grade level. He tutors his sisters. My babies are incredibly smart. Y'all gotta understand that children want to learn. That's one thing that children want to do. They want to learn. Start cooking in the kitchen. Let your baby watch you. Your baby's going to want to learn. Your baby is going to start mimicking and learning and taking in what you're doing. Because children's brain are set on learning. But when we inhibit them from learning and we start pushing other things on them rather than how to pick up learning skills, they fall short. Y'all trying to teach y'all children how to get game and how to, get a man or a woman. Like, teach them some stuff. Do y'all know the first thing that when immigrants come over here that they do, they make sure that their kids get into school? And you can honestly want to debate with me on saying that, well, we got public school. Their kids go to the same school you go to. Those Hispanic children are going to your public schools. They take advantage of everything that they get, from the free lunch to the doggone health care to everything that is provided to them at the basic level. And they make it work till they say, listen, abuelo. That's what a Hispanic man would tell his son. Listen, Pablo, you go to school, don't you worry about trying to make friends. Don't you worry about trying to be popular. You will get friends in time. You just need to get your education. When I was in the service, I understood that when I stopped trying to make less friends, stop trying to be liked, stop trying to be the cool soldier, but worried about my career and putting me first, it got a lot easier. When I got back here to the States, I focused on building myself. Mind you, let me tell you this. When I came back, I have a giant part of my brain that is missing. Okay? A giant part of my brain is missing. Some of my eyesight is gone. My spine is partially damaged. I have scars on my body. But one thing I definitely do know is that I can still try to teach myself how to learn. And by me doing that, I started building myself. I started going after trying to learn new curriculum. I learned how to build up my self-esteem. Started questioning things, listening to the laws, started reading about things. And in doing that, I was ready to fight the fight on a new battlefield. This has been the story of the Black veteran. The next story will be coming up about the Black addict. I'm going to tell you the story about how I was addicted to drinking, sex, and a dangerous lifestyle. I'd like to thank you guys for joining me. This is Joe from BMT. Y'all take care. Please like the video, subscribe. Peace.